And welcome back. We're back with another honest reviews. This time we're going to be looking at the Kingfoam Orthotic Insoles. Now, in previous honest reviews, we have looked at skates, we've looked at frames, we've looked at wheels, we've even looked at liners. One thing that many reviewers out there don't focus on is what also goes under your feet, which are insoles. In the past, I've used skate brands insoles. I've used the USD ones that have the kind of honeycomb underneath, and they were okay, nothing special. I've also used the Go Project ones that had the gel footbeds underneath. They, in my experience, were just too soft and didn't give great energy transfer, and it also kind of felt like your foot was sinking into the footbed. I've tried a number of sports ones, but yeah, just never been that happy with any of them. I've heard about Footprint before, and I know that they sponsor loads of big skaters like Aaron Jaws Hamoki, I don't know how to say his second name. He does massive gaps, jumps off roofs and stuff like that. So I thought if he uses them, they must be pretty good. But then he's also been pretty unkind about rollerbladers in the past. If you've watched his 9 Club interview, he slags rollerbladers off quite a bit in that. So that's also made me hate him. Regardless, Loco have invested in them and they say that they're good. So I thought I'd give them a try. Now, the reason I got these insoles is because I have a flat, wide foot and it pronates. So that means that it kind of like curves in on itself a little bit. And I've discovered that with using the Them U1s, I get pain round about the front of my inside toe area. And it only happens on the right foot, doesn't happen on the left. And I've looked into a few things, and my partner, who's a doctor, just suggested that if you get footbeds with greater support in the arch, that might help. The helpful thing about these ones, these are the orthotic insoles, and they are specifically designed for low arches, so they provide more support there. And if you look on the inside of the packaging, it tells you what they work with. So it says it works with a flat foot, a mid-arch, but it's probably not suited to a high arch. That is quite helpful. And it shows you where it alleviates pressure points and offers support. Again, that's pretty cool. If we take a look at the packaging here, the quality of the product does look very good. It looks high end. Apparently it's made with NASA technology, whatever the hell that means. Military grade UHD memory foam. I'm sure there was something about NASA in here. Oh yeah, energy absorbing material used by NASA. So if you're a flat earther, you don't believe that NASA have actually been to space, so any technology endorsed by them would just become illegitimate. Not getting into that argument. These do look pretty good. They look like I like that the foam's nice and hard, so you know the energy transfer is probably going to be quite good. It offers support here, which is where I have experienced issues with pain and pressure points in the past. It comes with additional little heel pads, which I'm not going to use. As a rule, I just hate heel pads. I really don't like them. I don't jump off massive gaps, so I don't need them. And I find that when my foot is that much raised forward, it gets really slow in the front wheels. It feels like they dig in. Now, a lot of that will have to do with my skating style. I'm not the best skater. I just prefer a flatter skate. Now, with these already have a kind of raised heel, like slightly. So the last thing I want to do is introduce any more height to it. I use the Intuition liners with them without heel pads, just because when I've put them in before, they've felt sluggish and I've really not enjoyed them. I've been riding these for months. I've been using the Intuition liner for over 6 months now. I've never once used it with a footbed in it. I just use it as they come without. Found them perfectly comfortable. I can jump off handrails and small stair sets and they feel perfectly fine. But I was just intrigued to know what difference this would make. Now, these are quite expensive for insoles. I'm sure these were around £30 or something, maybe more, I can't remember. They're not the most expensive insoles that you can get from Kingfoam, but when I went to order them, the most expensive ones, which I think were called game changers were sold out because apparently everyone's taken up rollerblading in 2020. First impressions, my right foot feels like it's slightly bigger than my left. Every shoe I've ever worn, every trainer, always feels tighter in the right foot than it does in the left. So I thought I'd give that a try first. It doesn't feel as if it takes up that much extra space. My concern with putting footbeds in is that it will constrict the space in the skate and make it tighter because I already wear skates that are incredibly tight anyway. I'm a size 10 UK, I wear a size medium shell, which is only meant to go up to a size 8 UK, so I've downsized quite a lot. But the first impressions are quite positive. It doesn't feel as if it's taken up that much more space. It still feels comfortable, and my hope is that by using these, it'll take away the pressure point or the sore point in the front of the toe area. So I'll give them a try for a few weeks and hopefully get you some clips, probably not some very good ones, and feedback and let you know. Welcome back. I've been using the Footprint Game Changer insoles for just over a month on street and in park, as you can see from the clips. Also got a juicy bail clip for you.
Alright. Jesus Christ.
That was a pretty beast slam that came out of absolutely nowhere. I don't think I've ate shit that hard doing a king grind on coping before. My glasses and my hat came clean off my head, so that was pretty impressive. Speaking of hats, we have some available on our website if you want to support the channel. I've been using it in two different methods. So one, I was using underneath the liner, like so, based on the mushroom blading guys. I saw that they do this, so I thought I would give it a try. I skated the majority of the sessions like this, and then I skated one session with the insole inside the liner, and I'll get onto that in a minute, but it didn't go well. With products like this, or any kind of new or slightly different product to what we're used to, most skaters don't tend to give them the chance that they deserve. So with things like intuition liners, I've seen people put them up for sale on repost sites fairly quickly, or things like adapt skates, or just anything that is slightly different to what skaters are used to. If you don't give them a chance properly, you're never going to get the full benefit of them, because it is going to feel different. If it's unlike anything you've ever used before, you're going to have to break it in, you're going to have to get used to it. That's just the way things are, and that was my experience with these. The first time I put them on underneath the liner like that, when I skated around on them, I instantly felt I had more cushioning, because as you can see, it is quite thick and padded, especially around this area here. I became most aware of it around the arch. The skates instantly felt a little bit looser, or as if I just didn't have as much control over them, and that is because your foot's sitting higher in the skate. Now, it's not that much higher, but you know, it's a few millimeters, and it does make a difference from having your foot feeling connected to the base of the skate. So I was rolling around and they did feel a bit strange at first. It took a couple of sessions to get used to it. As soon as you put your foot in the skate, it does feel a little bit different. The first thing that I noticed was I was getting a little bit of pain in this area here, and that is because it is quite thick and supportive, and I just wasn't used to having that kind of support in the arch of my foot. Now, that did go away over time, but I could imagine that would put a lot of people off. Like I said, you have to give it a chance and get used to it. The biggest takeaway I had from the first session was I was getting a lot of heel lift. So because this is no longer just straight into the boot at the bottom, stuck and attached, and it's got this layer, I was finding it was doing that quite a lot, which I found quite frustrating. And even with, you know, tying everything up as tightly as possible, I was still getting a little bit of lift. After a few sessions, didn't really notice it that much, or maybe I was just tightening my skates more, I don't really know. I skated these like that for about a month. I wouldn't say I noticed any great improvement other than it was slightly more cushioned. The thing that I did like though, and I was surprised by, was it didn't take up extra space in the boot. Because it was underneath here, my foot was still occupying the same amount of space inside the liner, it was just lifted up a little bit. So my foot didn't feel in any way crushed or uncomfortable. I just didn't think that having these was notably better than having no footbed at all. In a few of the clips, the street clips that you saw, those were taken from a full day session we had in Edinburgh, where I decided to put the footbed inside. Whoa. Easier said than done. Because I just thought that would fix the problem with heel lift, maybe make the skate feel a little bit more responsive, because I did feel that my foot didn't feel as connected to the skate because it was lifted up a little bit. They instantly felt better, didn't get the heel lift, and I did feel more in control of the skates. They felt more responsive, but by the end of the day, my toes were absolutely killing me. Having the footbed inside the liner meant it was occupying more space. Now, I've already downsized from a size 10 UK shoe into the medium shell, which is 8 and 9. I think I previously said it was just 8. Don't know what I was talking about. My foot, by the end of the day, was just crushed. My toes were killing me, and it's now been 3 or 4 days later, and the top of my toes are still really hurting. So even though it did feel better having the footbed inside the liner, it just took up too much space and yeah, screwed up the downsizing. Basically all the extra space that I'd gained by using the Intuition V2 liner inside the medium shell, I'd lost using this. And I think that is just because it is quite thick. So for the last 2 sessions, I've went back to using them on the outside, and yeah, it's enjoyable, but do I prefer it to having no footbed at all? I would probably say no. I think these footbeds really come into their own for people who do lots of gaps or take a lot of impact on their feet, or perhaps even people who have knee pain and back pain, because some of that can be related to your feet and how they are processing being in the skate. For me, because I don't do a lot of big impact stuff, I don't really feel like I get the benefit of these, and because I'm downsizing, again, these probably just aren't that suitable. I might prefer them if they were thinner and just a little bit harder. I do think that they could be, yeah, slimmed down just a little bit. I'm going to persevere with these for another month or so just to see how I got on with them, but I just don't really see that they make that much of a difference to my skating personally. For other people, I do think they might, but yeah, it's not that much of a loss though, because it is a great footbed and you can easily put it in trainers or shoes where the footbeds that you've got in there are starting to wear away a bit, so they do serve other purposes other than being in your skates. In summary, if you're a gap skater or you have joint pain, give them a try. It's only £30 and you could reap the benefits of them. For me personally, yeah, so far I'm not entirely convinced by them, but I'm going to keep giving them a try and seeing how they work. Another month, who knows, I might change my opinion, but for now, yeah, I'm not overly convinced by them.